it's Rachel with Madison. Today she and I are going to work on loose leash walking and heel. So we use loose leash walking and heel differently. For the loose leash walking, that's when you're taking her out to get her exercise. You're, by yourself, walking around the park or the sidewalk or something like that, and you want to let Madison explore. So, first of all, how you properly hold the leash, that's the best thing for her safety, is you put your thumb through the loop, and then you make a fist around it like this. That way, as long as you keep a closed fist, Madison cannot pull the leash out of your hand. And by, tightening your fist, you can kind of help reduce the pressure if she is pulling, and it makes it really nice and comfortable for her. So, we have two methods for loose leash walking. There's the reverse method and the back method. So, what the back method is when she goes out, if you're giving Madison the whole leash, as soon as your arm goes out and she's pulling, you plant your feet where you are, pat your leg and say, Madison, back. And you can barely see your head, but she already comes back to me. Off. So, that's what you are looking for. She comes back to you and they're slack in the leash. So we're going to walk around a bit and practice the reverse method so I can show you what it looks like when we're actually out on a walk. So come on, Madison. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Look how nicely she's walking like this. She's doing a very good job. Good girl. Good job, Maddison. Good girl. Good girl. Now, for this loose leash walking, we don't use treats because the treat is that she gets to continue walking. This is so you can let Madison explore. There aren't other dogs around. It's just nice and relaxed. She has all of this room on her leash to walk around. Now the other method is what I call the back method. That's when she starts pulling out, you turn 180 degrees from whichever direction she's pulling. Give the leash a little tug and say, Madison, this way, and you go in the opposite direction. Now, you going in the opposite direction will catch her attention, and she'll want to follow you, thinking there's great things that way, and that will give you slack in the leash that way. So, I'll show you what that looks like. Madison. She's doing a really great job of not pulling. She only pulled when we got towards the end there, but it's just simple. Just turn around. You don't have to yank the leash. Just give it a little wiggle or a little tug just to get her attention, just to move the collar and tell her this way and go the other direction. Now with loose leash walking, if the dog is really pulling, a lot of times our first instinct is to brace ourselves and pull the leash back. You don't want to do that because it's natural for dogs to fight against any resistance that they feel, so that can encourage the dog to pull harder. Also, with collars, it can kind of harm their larynx, and so their throat will kind of hurt from that, and if there's a lot of prolonged damage like that, it can cause lasting damage. Madison's in no danger of that. However, I don't want to worry you, but it's just something that teaching her loose leash walking now is really going to help her out and be the best thing for her. Instead of doing long, hard pulls, you want to do just a little wiggle of the leash to get her attention, or quick, sharp pops, because that really lets her feel a differentiation in it instead of just one long pull. She's fighting against that. Quick pops get her attention, so that's the way to go. So now that we've gone over the loose leash walking, I want to go over heeling. Heeling is a bit more controlled. We want Madison right next to us, and we want her to sit every time that we stop. Now, heeling is really useful if you're walking down a crowded sidewalk, if you're going into Petco or going into the vet, anything like that. You don't know if the dogs around you are aggressive or sick or in training and they can't be meeting other dogs or anything like that. So it's really important that you have good control of Madison in a heel. It really helps out both of you. So I'll show you how we do a heel. First of all, to hold the leash, you hold the end of the leash in your right hand and you control the slack with your left hand like this. Now, we always do heeling on the left side. That's just how it is for dogs. Just kind of a standard. So, I'm going to get her collar up, pull it right up behind her ears. Madison, come here. Come here, good girl. Good girl. Sit. Good sit. So this is perfect. This is exactly how you should start. She's sitting right next to my hip. She's nice and square with me. And we're going to start our walking. Now, for the heel, it's a moving command. So as I step forward, I'm going to say heel. Now, as I step forward, I'm going to use my left leg since it's the leg closest to her. That kind of gives her the physical cue of, that we're starting off. And I'm going to slap my leg and say heel. So, here we go. That's the heel. Good girl. Heel. Good girl. Good heel. Good heel. Good heel. Good heel, Madison. Good girl. Good job. That was a beautiful heel. I don't know if you've gone over this with her before, but she did a very excellent job. So I'm just going to keep practicing this with her to make sure that she can continue to do a good job, and if she has any little quirks that we can work through, I'll address that. But she did a perfect job. She sat automatically, which is exactly what we want. Now, she likes her treats, and especially if you don't always have treats, always give her lots of love and praise to let her know that she did a good job. Now, of course, even if you do have treats, give her that love, praise, and petting anyway, because she totally deserves it. All right, we're just going to keep on heeling. If she ever starts lagging, just give her a little tug on the leash, remind her to heel, and use a high-pitched, excited voice. Get her happy, increase your speed, pat your leg, and, be excited, and get her up next to you. Okay, ready, Madison? Heel. Heel. Good girl. Good heel. Good heel. Good girl. No. Sit. Good girl. Good girl, Madison. Heel. Good heel. Good girl. Good heel. You need a treat for that. Good girl, Madison. Good job. Good job. That was beautiful heeling. So there was one point where she kind of came a little bit in front of me. She was more at a 45-degree angle at the sitting. That's not that big of a deal, but while we're training her, we want to train her the absolute correct and perfect way, and she did a fantastic job. She's really good with the heel. I know she has a lot of puppy energy, and she gets super excited when you drop her off in the morning, But she's had the whole day to play, and so she's a bit more mellow now. And what I would really suggest is you practice, 10 to 15 minutes of training of whatever you want to work on with her at home. And it might be a really good idea for you to practice after daycare if you have a problem with her being too energetic or too hyper, not being able to focus. Because she'll still have enough puppy energy. She probably won't be completely exhausted and pass out, but it will kind of take the edge off the energy, which will help you get through to her a bit better. But she's doing an absolutely great job. This was Rachel and Madison. We were working on loose leash walking and healing.